Show. The Common Good Radio Show. Brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. Highlighting the good in the community. Hosted by Pastor John McClain, Tucson's favorite family show.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another amazing episode of the Common Good Radio Show, brought to you by the Homeless Veteran Transition Program, Veteran Rescue Mission. I am Pastor John McClain, here again with one of my best. What's that?
No, it's it.
Oh, that was scary. I don't know. You're pointing.
It's a finger.
with the original co-host, Andreas Ruiz of I Believe Myself Coaching, Leadership, Mentorship, and
You got
everything.
You got it. You got
authorship. And we have a lot of great guests here today, as we always do, but this would not be the Common Good Radio Show, as you know, if I did not give grace to a very loving Father that makes this all possible. Usually I do that with the Lord's Prayer, which I'm going to do that again. It goes a little something like this. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. I'm gonna say that last one again, because I ask that he leads us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
Amen.
So that being said, we got, as I promised, we have two great guests today in studio. Firstly, we have our friend John with Benjamin Franklin Plumbing. Thank you, Mr. John, for being here. And for the second segment, we're going to have Mr. Jeremy Circled Silverman.
Yes.
With Hope Dealers Global.
Nice.
And so if you hear some snickering in the back, you know that it's that gentleman there. But that being said, John, man of mine own name, welcome, sir. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
For those who aren't familiar with Benjamin Franklin Plumbing and what you guys do, fill us in.
Well, like you already said, I'm John with Benjamin Franklin Plumbing of Greater Tucson. One of the things that we hold very high is our customers. We're tradesmen, we're not salesmen. We're there to provide a service. I feel like that is something that is starting to dissipate in the trades. Everything is about how much money you can make or what you could get. Something that we do offer, and we call ourselves a punctual plumber, is the fact that we know the customer's money, or the time is worth money. I mean, ours is too, but time is money. With that said, we do offer every minute we're late. We offer $5 per minute up to $300. So, I mean, that's
nice.
Definitely a good option to go with, but we're not late.
On the opposite end, you should get $5 for every minute early. I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. But like in regards to the services that you guys offer, what does that entail?
Well, there's really nothing too big or too small. We specialize in everything. Something that I try to point out with every call I go to is the basic home maintenance things. You get used to looking at the same stuff, so there's a lot of things that go unnoticed, like your angle stops or small drips from your water heater. I mean, these small little things that can turn into very large ones, and if you have to get restoration out there, things like that, taking care of something now could save you a lot of money in the future. And it's one of those things that maintenance, you don't realize you're saving yourself. Kind of like with your car. I mean, you change your oil, you're going to do that. Granted, that has a light that pops up and tells you to do it, but either way, you're saving yourself in the long run. And that's kind of how I feel it is with houses. So, I mean, when we go in, we do the free estimates, and something as well is we like to do a walkthrough just to point out things, let you know what's going on. And if they want, we give them options. But the biggest thing is that we like to keep them informed so they're aware of it, because things sneak up on you real quick. Time goes by fast.
Yeah. So to back to the punctual plumber, because when Leah, one of the founders of Benjamin Franklin Plumbing of Greater Tucson, when we first met, she told me this line. I was like, one, that's a brilliant line, just because that is really important. Especially being a military man, a fourth generation military brat. Being on time. If you're not on time, you're late. So
Facts.
that's definitely, a fundamental thing that I've always felt. So certainly, whether it's my plumber, my roofer, or my exterminator, I'm a landscaper, or the babysitter. If they tell me they're going to be at a certain time, if they're not there on that time, they may not be that have that job anymore, afterwards. So that's certainly a fundamental thing. But I guess within Benjamin Franklin Plumbing, speak to the culture of the punctual plumber and how important you've seen it being for you guys to be there on time, and how serious the organization takes it, and then the other kind of good character traits that you've seen in being part of the Benjamin Franklin Plumbing of Greater Tucson team.
Well, I can say the owners, they're very down to earth, very amazing people. They like to take care of us, but I mean that we all hold the same values. We want to make sure that everyone knows we are there to take care of them. Just like you said, if you're not early or late, we'd like to always make sure that we're there early. And I mean, bare minimum, you're there 5 minutes early. I mean, it's just how it goes. As well with culture, like I was mentioning, everyone in this company feels the same way. I do the same way the owners do. We all have the same mindset mentality when it comes to stuff like that. We are, yes, you spend more time with the people you work with than your family. I mean, so you get to know each other, but we want to make a difference. That's part of our goal, and we all feel the same way. So with that mentality question, I think we want to grow, we want to spread, and we kind of want to change what people think of plumbers now. Because
for sure.
Unfortunately, it's starting to be like car salesmen. So.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because just like having a good access to a good plumber is like having access to a good mechanic, or having access to a good pool guy if you're a pool guy. So I don't want to hog John from YouTube. What do you guys? What questions do you have, since we have access to a good plumber here for the next 3.5 minutes?
Well, one of the things that I wanted to know was, because he kind of talked about maintenance. So what kind of tips would you give people to be on the lookout if there's something going on with their plumbing, or also what kind of maintenance would you recommend that you offer for people to have an upkeep on their plumbing?
Well, a good one that I like to point out for folks, and common people they don't realize, but is the water heater flush. That's a very important one.
Okay.
It's recommended once a year. Our water is ridiculous here. I recommend twice a year. So I mean, I commonly walk through customers, show them how to do it. I mean, you have elderly people that can't do it themselves, so we're more than happy to take care of it for them. But that's one of the things you could save money, take care of yourself. It doesn't take very long. Very basic process. I mean, you even find that on YouTube. But that's a very good one. As well, there's a sacrificial item in the water heater, which is called an anorod. On average, I see about 3 years is when you need to replace that. But that, like I said, sacrificial. The elements, it attacks that versus the water heater, kind of expand the life. I do feel like things nowadays are kind of planned obsolescence. So I really feel like average lifespan of a water heater is about 10 years now. But if you take care of it, you can push it a bit further.
Nice.
As well, another one, actually something I push to everyone. So on Amazon, you can get these little sensors. They're little water sensors. They get wet. They start chirping. They start beeping. They make all kinds of different versions. Get those, put them under your sinks, put them next to your water heater, things along those lines. They will save you. Quite commonly, people don't even realize you go to check stuff and they have a leak under their sink. There's damage, things like that, mold growth. Those little guys can save you, make a giant difference. I've had multiple people very grateful that I told them about that.
Yeah, I'm grateful for it right now.
It's interesting that you mentioned that, because in looking at the social media for Benjamin Franklin Plumbing of Greater Tucson, I saw that on there, that you guys install something into the plumbing that shows leakage.
I believe that one was actually a ball valve that can shut off. So there's a couple versions, but it's one that installs in the main riser, the main inlet water going into the house. I mean, a couple locations you could put it, but that's the average. But it can detect high flow, things like that. You can even, it has different settings, links to the Wi-Fi. So that's quite common with folks that are going out of town, things like that, or aren't at these summer homes, things along those lines, where they still have their water on because people are coming by, scenarios like that. This device can either detect and let them know that there is, a constant water flow, which is a sign of a leak, and or on heavy flow. After a certain period, it shuts it off to try to prevent any damage.
Man, I could talk to tradesmen all day. You guys are great, man. Well, but unfortunately I can't. But for people who want to get a hold of Benjamin Franklin Plumbing of Greater Tucson and utilize your services, what is the website? What is the phone number? And how can they do that?
So it'd be best to get a hold of us at, I apologize.
Well, I know you're
don't have it memorized.
definitely on
but
Facebook as well. People can find you.
1,000%.
Yeah.
I don't have Facebook myself, but yes, definitely. But the number would be 520-399-7992.
Awesome.
And yeah, and we have someone 24/7. Like any company, we do have, there's the late night fees, things like that. So if you need us 2 a.m, we will be there.
Awesome. Well, John, thank you so much, brother.
Yeah, thank you, man.
My pleasure.
Yeah,
Thank you.
This is the Common Good Radio. See, that wasn't so hard, right?
No.
Yeah. This is the Common Good Radio Show brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. I'm Pastor John McClain here with Andreas Ruiz. Mr. Jeremy Silverman on deck. He's taking his swings now. I want to thank our sponsors, Proper Villains for Tucson, We Care Tucson, 100+ guys who give, White Stallion Ranch, Tucson Tool Shop, Dontel Dust Landscaping, Benjamin Franklin Plumbing, Hope Dealers Global, CB2BGA, Pep Inc. We'll have all that and more after the break. And don't remember anything. We'll be right back.
The Common Good Radio Show. The Common Good Radio Show. Brought to you by Veteran Rescue Mission. Highlighting the good in the community. Hosted by Pastor John McClain, Tucson's favorite family show.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another vivacious episode of the Common Good Radio Show, brought to you by Veteran Rescue
I'll take
Mission. You like that? Yeah. I try to just throw words out there.
Tubular.
Hopefully, I don't get myself in trouble.
Totally. Right.
I'm Pastor John McClain here with Andreas Ruiz of I Believe in Myself Greatness. Tell people about what you guys do and how to get a hold of y'all.
Yeah, so I work with business owners, entrepreneurs, helping them with self-doubt, procrastination, and then also working on themselves. I really believe in the quote of, success is not to be pursued, it's to be attracted by the person you become. So I help the people that I serve become the person that I know that they're capable of, because that will attract the success. And if you need that, 520-392-9179.
That's great. And also the Facebooks and the
Yes.
Instagram and the TikTok-y, and I think I saw Smoke Signal the other day. Was that you?
Yeah, that was me.
That was
That
good.
was me.
Yeah. I believe in myself too. Yeah.
Far on the horizon.
So we have another good friend. Like it seems like every time we have this guy in studio, it's like we're not even doing a radio show. It's like a guy hangout. It's
Yeah,
like
it
we might
really
as well
is.
just
Agreed.
let's not make excuses. Let's just hang out. From
That's
now
what makes
on.
it fun.
Yeah, but we got Jeremy Silverman. I know because it's circled here in studio, and he is with Hope Dealers Global. And I had someone actually, one of the guests we had earlier was asking, why do you call it Hope Dealers?
Well, that's an awesome question.
Yeah.
So Hope Dealers came about on my own personal journey. And what I found is that in the struggles of being an entrepreneur, there was always that hope, of changing, evolving, growing, expanding, not just the business itself, but as a person.
Yes.
But what I found is that I started finding a lot of people similar to me, looking for opportunities, looking for the ability to earn some additional income above and beyond in the cracks and folds of their lives. And so what I felt really strongly with Hope Dealers in the name was that I wanted it to be authentic and genuine. And the purpose of it was to offer hope to other people when they are feeling like they don't have a lot of opportunities or options available to them. There is a place you can go. And so whether it be financially or whether it be just trying to save some money or even knowing somebody who's struggling that could use that help, Hope Dealers is there to assist in that particular way.
Nice. And I guess, just outside of that, for people who never heard of Hope Dealers Global before and want a better understanding of what it is, let's speak to that, and then we'll speak to something cool you've been doing and you have coming up.
Yeah. So one of the things that we look at with Hope Dealers and what we help people with is that, and one of the things that I do specifically is take a person who financially, say for example, a cell phone. They're struggling with their bill. Well, just this week alone, I showed an individual how to redirect their costs with their cell phone. They were paying almost $400 a month. We got them down to less than $100 a month on their cell phone. We showed them that they were actually wasting money and tied up in a contract. We were able to get them out of the contract. They saved extra money. And the thing is that, and this is where Hope Dealers comes in, we don't just help people save money and make money. We genuinely want to help the person. This person's significant other was going to be deployed. In fact, I think he left today. And she was worried, concerned, and she needed security. Well, we were able to free up the money from the cell phone for her to get a security system. So now she redirected the money. She has security. You know, her fiance has been deployed, but now she has the peace of mind in knowing that when she's at home or not at home, she can see what's going on, and she has that. And so it's not about saving the money on the cell phone or getting the security system. It was more about her needs and helping with those areas of which she was struggling. And it was a very emotional situation. And so for her, we were excited to be able to do that for her. And in turn, with doing that, you know, that's really what Hope Dealers is about. It's about being able to take those life events and turn them into something positive and even capitalize on it.
Yeah,
I love
absolutely.
it. Yeah, man. And I know that, you know, there's something big coming up. And you know, I know that you're really excited. Like I could tell by the when you
I
walked
love every
in.
time you talk about
I'm
it.
pretty jazzed about it.
Yeah,
You
but,
like glow like a child in a candy store.
yeah, and that's how it's about, man. But yeah, tell us about this this amazing event that you have coming up.
Okay, so on Saturday, June 21st, we have the Super Saturday event. And what the Super Saturday event is, it's open to anybody that would like to come. There's no cost. And it's at the station over in Marana. And it starts, registration starts at 8:30, and it will go till 11 o'clock. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be showing individuals how they can actually join Hope Dealers and earn an income on their own and even help other people as well. So we encourage people to come out. There's no cost and no obligation whatsoever. We're just sharing information with people, and we hope that it resonates and that we create a movement in Tucson. There's far too many people that don't know about what we have to offer, and we would love to use this forum, in fact, to show them how they can save money, make money, and even help others in the process. So it's very exciting.
Interesting. So paint a picture in my mind, like I'm a child, of what people can expect when they show up and walk us through it.
So no pressure and no stress. This is
Okay,
not
good.
a sale.
I don't feel any.
Yeah,
I feel
there's no
completely
sales
relaxed.
pitch here.
My feet are kicked up.
The cool thing is the co-founders that we partner with are going to be broadcasting via Zoom at this particular meeting across the nation. So we're going to be participating in all 50 states with lots of individuals that do this. But we're going to be hearing the speakings from a 32-year-old company and all 4 co-founders. And they're going to be talking about some of our new offerings that are going to be coming up in the fall. And so if you knew Amazon was going to be Amazon before it became Amazon, you might want to get into Amazon. This is kind of one of those pivotal moments in this particular business and industry. So some of the announcements that are going to be made by the co-founders are going to be significantly important for those that want to hear it at the time. And then in the process of doing that, they'll explain more about what we do and how we do it, the how part, to make it simple for people to understand.
Yeah, man. No, and I mean, it's it sounds like, you know, like you're going to have some people there that are really, really well educated when it comes to this organization, you know, and it just sounds like these people are also part of that mission that you're on.
Correct.
To serve other people. And I know that one of the things that stood out was you were mentioning how it really could benefit entrepreneurs and business owners. So tell us a little bit about that, you know, for the business owner, the entrepreneur that's looking at this, how can they benefit from this?
So for the entrepreneur themselves or a business owner, we can actually, this program shows them how they can not just save money on the bills they're already paying, but we can actually show them how to monetize it and turn it into an actual residual income stream. So if you can imagine you have residual bills, well, we're going to show you how to convert that into a residual income stream. And so by doing that, we're already participating. That's the thing with entrepreneurs and business owners today. They're already participating in this market. They just don't know that this exists. And that's really what Super Saturday is about, is to get that out to entrepreneurs and business owners to say, look, this exists in the market. It's real. It's been 32 years running. You know, what benefit can it do to help you? And so for an entrepreneur or business owner, maybe that they're struggling financially, or their costs are starting to climb, such as in health insurance. These are avenues in which we can help those individuals specifically.
Yeah.
Nice. We got about a minute till we jump out of here. For what's one thing people listening, you really want them to take away from this interview, if nothing else, going into Super Saturday or just in general, like in relation to connecting with you?
So I think the point people can take is that I'm sharing a particular piece of information that most people are participating but not aware of. But what they can take from it is that it's an honest, transparent business model, and the way that it's designed is it's meant to raise everyone up. So when you look at this particular organization or you participate in it, you only benefit by helping others. It's a pay it forward business model. And so when we explain this to people in that way, you can capitalize it's very lucrative, depending on how you see it. It can fill the gaps in your finances if you want, or it could really just simply help that person that's struggling out there. So it's open to all the classes, all the masses, and it's non-discriminatory.
And how can people get a hold of you?
They can reach me at 520-891-8210. Again, that number is 520-891-8210, and that's for June the 21st at the station.
Well, Jeremy, thank you so much, brother.
Thanks, you guys.
Yeah,
That's
thank you, man.
Jeremy Silverman with Hope Dealers Global. I'm Pastor John McLean. Across from me, we got Andreas Ruiz with I Believe in Myself. Thank you all for listening. We're going to go ahead and thank our sponsors now. But remember, at the end of every day, it's night.